Welcome back, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed my educational content thus far. Please consider subscribing to my channel and send a like if you're feeling generous. In this episode, I'm going to talk about what is the union and what the IBEW is all about as best as I can. I will also be going over the benefits and why it's such an awesome sector to join. You're probably thinking, what is the IBEW and what is it all about? As a whole, we are the best the electrical industry has to offer as far as training, quality of work, and our network of members. We are recognized for having federally approved training. The IBEW has approximately 873,000 active members and retirees, making it a large union representing electrical workers and utilities, construction, telecom, and more across the United States and internationally. Most are completely shocked of its benefits, what it offers, and what it can do for your future. The issue is most people don't know about it until after their prime ages. Another issue is most stuck in non-union can't afford to switch over because they need to keep their income flowing without any delays. It's unfortunate, but not everyone can afford to. I'm sure a large percentage of you have probably worked non-union all your lives. Non-union is basically all major corporate companies and small business owners as a whole. Basically, if you're not union, you're non-union. Majority of all jobs are non-union. Now, there may be some workers who have had positive experiences in non-union, but personally, I do not recommend the non-union side as far as electrical work goes because the risk factors as far as hazards, general safety, and expected production demands will likely be unrealistic, unfair, and very stressful for what salary and benefits they'll offer you. However, in some non-union jobs, they'll offer per diem more than union would, but you will likely put in a very hard day's work for every day worked compared to union, and you probably won't get any benefits. In my experience, the benefits were not that great for the few non-union electrical companies I work for. In some cases, in order to get healthcare insurance from the company, you must pay out of your own paycheck to get it, and you must work with the company to keep getting benefits, although you're not happy working for them. So it's pointless in my opinion. Maybe there's better companies out there, but I'm not willing to waste my time and physical labor trying to find the right one. To those of you who are in a non-union position, used to be, or are just curious about the union sector, then I'll be glad to help you out too. I'm more than understanding. Unfortunately, there are some union electricians who do not like non-union electricians because they feel that they will break down conditions out of job fear. But I've met many non-union electricians who are organized in and they turned out to be just fine. Generally, in non-union, they probably didn't treat you well, or maybe you have physical issues from past on-the-job injuries, or played in rough sports and created injuries from it. It must be kind of scary in thinking if you can still physically handle the job when the bosses couldn't care less of your physical issues. Even with an injured body, you still have to make it to retirement regardless. I've met tons of electricians who have a lot of experience but can barely walk, but they have a lot of knowledge to share. They end up being limited on their physical abilities and end up on quality control, something equivalent, or even stationary tasks. We are always looking for new members for our workload across the nation. I know there are few who want to travel, but it all depends on what you're looking to achieve and what's more important to you and your loved ones. There are a lot of locals. In fact, there are over 100 locals in the United States, and there are some outside the country too. Every local has their own rules, pay scale, and packages, nearly the same procedures to getting jobs and getting involved with politics and other social involvements. But that's only if you're interested. It's not mandatory, but it's encouraged. I'm going to be honest here. As far as politics go, the IBEW is Democratic dominated and based. The administrative branch encourages members to support and vote for the left narrative, but whatever your stance falls on is all up to you. They will not force their beliefs onto you. They may frown on it, but that's about it. If you don't want any involvement, then I would recommend doing your part in your local by paying your monthly dues and assessments from your paycheck, death benefits, and be a good member to the Brotherhood while attending meetings once a month to understand more or less what's going on within your local. Or you can just work and choose not to be involved with the hall. I know it seems like a lot, especially if you're just starting out, and it was for me too when I joined, but at the end of the day, it's still well worth it. Why? Because the benefits, especially after completing the apprenticeship or being organized in, are nearly unmatched. The medical benefits did save my wife's life with the amount of medical availability and resources of private insurance, and she probably would have died if she did not have it. So I am forever grateful for that. One very good benefit, which I love about the IBEW, is if you're traveling out of your home local to seek work out of another local, your benefits will follow you on the road, and their hall's package will be collected and put into your pension, health and welfare, and more while you're working out of that hall. Depending what your local has to offer, the benefits can be mediocre to excellent. For example, my local scale was towards the bottom of the list. However, the benefits are some of the best in the country. That's how it was negotiated. They provide me with Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO. The insurance pays 80% and you pay 20%. That's a great deal, which is private insurance, which will save you thousands. The best part, the whole family is covered. What pays for all of this? Your health and welfare fund, which is from your employer contribution, which is separate from your paycheck and is part of your benefits. Work hours are required for your funds, though, so keep in mind the time you take off, you need a certain amount of work hours a month, but in some locals, you can bank those hours if you've worked a lot of overtime. So if you're short on them because you were laid off suddenly, you can use them on tough times. It helps drastically, especially if you have family members who wear glasses, need dental work, or has to go to the doctor. I'm going to do my best to explain how our insurance work as direct and as best as I can without getting too boring. So basically, the IBEW pays for your insurance primarily through employer contributions from your hourly wages, which is deposited into a separate health and welfare fund, covering costs like medical, dental, and vision. Members will often pay small copays for premium plans or family add-ons, but most benefits are employer funded. Your employer will pay a set amount per hour worked into a trust, which creates a reserve bank for your benefits so that it ensures coverage even if you change jobs within the union system, though you need to work enough hours to qualify. You need 120 to 140 hours per month to continue to get your insurance coverage, but this is generally. Keep in mind, all locals may have more hours or less hours required to get coverage, but they aren't too significant. Now, some locals will give more or less benefits, but that all depends on what is negotiated between your local hall and the contractors through collective bargaining. Electrical companies will probably lay you off, but at the end of the day, you have a union member card, which we call a yellow ticket, because it is bright yellow and you can go to over 100 halls or locals to seek work, and you don't have to prove anything because our tickets are recognized across the entire United States at all halls. However, there may be additional requirements as far as licensing goes, but most are just small fees to work in different states. Keep in mind though, this is only after you graduate the 4 to 5 year apprenticeship program. So get in that apprenticeship and earn that classification so you can open the door to a lot more options like I did. Other benefits are pension, annuity, service credits, and more. All locals will have different packages. Some will be great and others will not be. But recently, some halls who have a below average package added per diem on their job to attract journeyman wiremen, and I recently accepted a job over there. This was in Jonesboro, Arkansas. In fact, I went to the same job location twice, but for different electrical companies. Sometimes, if you get lucky enough and the timing is right, that's how it usually happens in our line of work. When a window opens, you decide if you want to sprint to it and jump through or not before the timer runs out and it closes, because more than likely they'll probably man it. That's generally how it works for us, but you need to ask yourself, what do you want and what is your priorities? You may be living near an excellent and strong local, making a lot more income with better conditions, packages, and more. However, times slow down, and where one window opens, another one closes. The window may not be 100 miles from you, but there will be a construction boom somewhere, and as long as you're willing to travel, you'll always have work. I have thus far. Everything requires electricians, no matter the business, because all businesses and establishments need power. It has always been this way. Some of you might be thinking, is our industry going to be replaced with AI? Even with AI here, we will not be replaced. Why, you might be thinking? That's because our job demands complex, hands-on problem solving, real-world adaptation, physical dexterity, judgment in unpredictable situations, and needs human oversight for safety purposes. Because we all know the insurance likes to save money and wants cost effectiveness. AI doesn't care what it damages or screws up, nor takes responsibility for what it does. So if you're looking to not be replaced with AI, the blue collar industry generally will not be replaced by it. AI and computers can bend some conduit for us, but cannot do everything. So you should feel pretty safe from AI in this industry generally. Thank you everyone for watching, and I greatly appreciate all of the likes and support. I will be making much more content and give much more information in the near future. Please check in for more on my channel.